Hello and thank you for joining the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakum. Today on the program, Uche Secondus vows not to resign after vote of no confidence by House of Representatives. PDP caucus says those who want him to go are tiny minority. Federal government announces August 16 as new date for second phase of COVID-19 vaccination as Nigeria record 422 new infections and 5 deaths. And later on the show, Kaduna State government insists all primary and secondary schools to remain shut until security improves across the state. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mojid Jamiu. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. We begin today on a rather sad note. Let's pay tribute to one of our resource persons on security issues, Dr. Ona Ekhomu, who died in Lagos on Monday after a brief illness. Until his death, Ekhomu was the first chartered security professional in West Africa and one of the leading voices on ways to end insecurity in Nigeria. Let's listen to one of his views on insecurity.
Thesis of my book, Boko Haram, my book titled Boko Haram, that this threat was metastasizing, that is, it was going around the country, and it was leaving its home in the northeast, and that it will show up even as far south as Lagos and other parts of the country, because of what I saw, what they had been doing, and so on and so forth. So it's quite concerning. Now, when the governor of Niger State says that Boko Haram is hoisting flags there in that state, that is quite concerning because it means they've become operational there. Now, Niger State has had issues with Boko Haram. It's still a crisis that we can handle, but we need to be focused and we need to be determined. The fact that the federal government, let's take the banditry problem now, which is a more prevalent problem. Let's put our money where our mouth is. If we say we want to defeat insurgency, and Nigerian military is totally capable of defeating insurgency, let us fund them properly. Let us recruit men aggressively. We are at war, so let us go on war footing. Let's start recruiting people. In fact, somebody told me a few days ago, he said, look, Dr. Ona, I say, why are schools still open right now when we are at war? We should go on war footing properly. So, look at those areas where these kids are being kidnapped and slaughtered. I think we have to devolve the security arrangement in the country. That is undermost. That is dole. We must devolve the security arrangement in the country. It tickles me every time I read the paper, they say, people were kidnapped in Oyo State. Hunters are in search of them. People were kidnapped in Oyo State. Amotekun is going after them. That is the devolution of the security arrangement. So the government security forces will now add more firepower, more impetus to the capabilities of these local security arrangements that we have. But the fact that we have given them the impression that you guys don't count, you are not part of the security architecture, that's why they are sitting back and looking. But right now, with the way things are, we must arrest this drift.
Dr. Ona Ekhomu there. Jude, this is a devastating one. This is really, really, really sad.
It is. It is. And just listening to him there, you can feel the quality of his contributions to our desire to solve the problem of insecurity in our country. Just look at, within a few minutes, look at the ideas that he came up with. It's a very
big... talking about one of our topics today, that schools should be closed.
Yes, Kaduna State talking about schools, that the schools will remain closed. Yes, that's what he's saying, that why are some schools still open? And after this interview, they went on to kidnap those children in the Bethel High School in Kaduna. So if they had listened to him and shut down all schools, the federal government college in Birnin Yauri, they would not have succeeded in kidnapping those children. the one at Kaduna too would not have happened. So this is an interview that I granted months ago. And look at the things that happened after that. So it's a massive loss to us as a country that this very competent security analyst is gone. I really feel for his family.
It's something that, because as a young journalist, anytime we talk about security experts, we are asked to go and look for security experts. Then the first name that will come to mind would be Dr. Ona Ekhomu. He has been there very consistent in the last 25 years. I can tell you that.
As you can see in his bio, he's the first chartered security expert in West Africa. So it's not by coincidence or happenstance that he became that. And you can see from the quality of the advice he's been given. I mean, something he said almost 3 months ago is now coming to effect. But I expect that our security agencies would engage the services of somebody like this before he passed on, especially
as a consultant.
With the quality of his experience. I mean, he will be sorely missed. We pray that God grants him eternal rest.
We just, our hearts reach out to the family of Dr. Ona Ekhomu. We pray that the Almighty God will grant the family of Ekhomu the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. Now, moving on now, the stakes are piling up high against the embattled national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Uche Secondus. Members of the PDP caucus in the House of Representatives have passed a vote of no confidence on him, while a face-saving move by the governors is yet to make an headway. But Secondus is adamant and has vowed never to resign. In a statement, he said there's nothing to warrant his resignation, stating that those who want him out are the tiny minority. Babajide, in your last argument, you questioned the logic behind this resignation, call for resignation of Uche Secondus, and say, if convention is November, December, why don't you allow him to just see off the convention? But trust politicians. After the program, I dug further. I now discovered that, it's still this stake that we're talking about. The stake is that if he is the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party till that convention, he is going to have the unilateral authority to set up a convention committee that will supervise the election. And some people elsewhere, they are afraid of this. They just don't want him to have anything to do with that convention today.
Well, that's the goal. I felt that, look, by the timetable, a new national chairman should take office by the first week of December, meaning that their convention must happen latest in the last week of November. So that first week of December, a new chairman or even E2 could return. But politics being what it is, when people come for you, they don't want to leave you with any chance of survival. I've had a very big politician in this country say, look, you don't empower your enemies. And when you want to kill the enemy, you kill him completely.
Go all out.
All out war. No let up. Just there. So what they want now is a situation in which he goes today so that he cannot set up the critical task that they know he has is to set up the electoral committee for the convention. They don't want him to do that because what they don't want is for him to preside over the NEC meeting, where that decision to set up the electoral committee that will conduct the affairs of the convention as it concerns election of principal officers of the party.
That next NWC.
They don't want, because NEC is big. So he will be able to find those who are pliable, those who will be able to work for him to ensure that he survives. So they don't want him to remain chairman at the time when that NEC meeting will be called, and the decision to set up that electoral committee will take place. That is how they are thinking, that let's get him out of the way quickly. So if they get him out of the way, then someone else will preside over NEC. So when someone else presides over NEC, then they know that he's gone. For us who are outsiders, we are not card-carrying members of either APC or PDP. The way we see things is not the way the average politician will see things. That's why I remember one governor saying, you are a small boy, what do you know? When I asked him one question, because it shocked me. The person he pointed at and described as his leader is in the rival party. And I said, this person, why are you saying this person is your leader? He said, you are a small boy, what do you know? So I left him, the small boy.
Truly, he understands what he's saying.
He knows what he's saying, but he didn't want me to harass him for that. So I left him. Secondus is accused of steering all kinds of divisions within the state chapters of the party, especially in the south, southwest especially. And the reason they think he's doing that is the last crisis, just before he was elected, PDP wanted it to be zoned to the southwest.
Yes,
somehow,
yes,
within the southwest, crisis was contrived between them, and you had at least two persons rooting for the position. So in the midst of that disagreement and all that, people like his godfather in quotes, who has now turned against him, began saying, what has the Southwest contributed to the party? That you want the Southwest to get the chairmanship. So in all of that division,
and rooting to be the chairman.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But unfortunately for them, if they had one candidate, if they rooted behind one candidate, Daniel too wanted it. If they had come behind one candidate, it would have been difficult to penetrate their ranks. But by the time different people said they wanted to contest, they too now contrived the crisis and made sure that, people like Wike pushed that it should go to the South that had been loyal to the party from the beginning. So this is they are now saying that it pays him for more crisis to happen in some states where he suspects that it could be challenged. So now they look at what they have in Ekiti. She's saying that they should give him all of the structures. But some are saying, look, when you had the whole structures as a sitting governor, it didn't stop you from losing election. Let other people take this, take that. Let Eleka, who is the former deputy, let him take some. Let Olujimi, my former senator, take some. Let Shegun Onitu take some. But Faushe insists that he must get everything. Move away from there. The three governors, the governors who have defected, they too are saying that he contrived the crisis in their state that forced them to go. And when you look at what happened in Cross River, maybe to an extent that is true. So people are saying, look, if we keep him, he will continue to contrive crisis that will make sure that PDP is worse than the state that he met it. So this is the reason some of them want him to leave immediately. And they know that, look, if they do not force him to resign, you can't kick him out easily without the convention. The convention is the power to remove the chairman rests in the convention. That is the most powerful organ of the party. So they are not prepared to wait until that time. So they want to pile pressure on him so that he eventually will throw in the towel. But there are people senior people within the party, elderly people too, who think that, look, Wike is beginning to bite more than he can chew. Now, let him not see himself as the conqueror of all of us. So let's back this person. So anything can still happen at this stage.
At what point in time? Because I know that Secondus is like a creation of Governor Wike. As in, all through when they were fighting that war and everything, I was in Abuja during the time of when they wanted to present the chairman and everything. At what point in time? Fast forward 2019, the Port Harcourt Convention.
Yeah, I was going to say that. The problem started after the 2019 primaries. You know, Wike's candidate then. 2018 December. Wike's candidate was Tambua.
Governor of Sokoto State.
Governor of Sokoto State. While some people preferred Atiku. And Wike insisted that for him to have an edge,
first of all, the convention must be held in Port Harcourt. Unless PDP
and now
is in trouble.
They agreed. And Atiku mobilized to that place and defeated.
Went to his home state.
Took the
battle there.
Beat him at home.
He beat Wike at home. So, and he couldn't have succeeded without the support of Secondus. So, Wike felt betrayed that this guy, I made you chairman so that I can have you at my whims and caprices, but I mean, maybe to higher bargain.
Dancing to my tune.
But was he expecting him to rig the election for him?
So, but
because it was free and fair.
But the free and fair is in quotes. Because
it was free and fair.
Things were flying.
Atiku, yes, it was flying on both sides.
Was flying.
What Atiku did, because what Atiku did was, at the airport, he positioned people. As soon as you land, and they know that you are a delegate of
you to a camp.
They've already rented hotel for people. You just go straight to the hotel, and they will quarantine you inside that hotel. And then you get your dollars. You know you are going to vote for them. They didn't have the organizational capacity of the Atiku team led by Benga Daniel. So the thing was free and fair. And they didn't rig the election.
Fair and fair, quote unquote. And Biodun show me, you know. Now, but in politics, you know, my brother is the deputy speaker in Ekiti. And I was in politics, so to say, quote unquote, between 2010 and 2014 before I left. Now, one of the politicians once told me that if we have 10 naira to distribute amongst three of us here, normally a rational person will think that, yeah, Jide has the biggest body here. Is the elder, I mean, is the eldest. It should have 4. And the 2 of us should take 3. He said, no, politicians don't think like that. Jide will take 8 first and struggle with the remaining 2 with us.
That is if Jide is truly greedy.
No, he said the way, I know I said it. I said, politicians, the way they think. So he said, that is it. So he said, he will take 8. We will expect that the remaining 2, he will struggle with the remaining 2.
They will not get any.
So he said, politicians are like that. So he said, power is not served a la carte. You fight for it. So you go all out so that they will know that, no, this guy. So that's why you see a governor who will put a successor, and less than 6 months, the successor will chase the governor out of town. It has happened in most cases because now when whoever succeeds the governor gets there, you will discover that the security vote, say for example, in a state like Akwa Ibom, is about probably between 750 and 1 billion per month. Say, what? So this is what this man has been taking for the past 4 or 8 years, and he gives us a peanuts and he'll be telling us there's no money. And security vote is first line charge. You now calculate it in
8 years down the line.
8 years. Say, wow. So what else does he want? No. I have to kick him out. So for the case of Secondus and Wike, Secondus is ready to fight to the end. But we will soon determine how many lives his own cat has, because Wike is not going to give in easily too. All the things we are looking at it's a build-up towards 2023, because the Atiku Atiku, of course, he has shown interest in running for 2023, and he knows that without Wike, it will be difficult for him, while Tambuwa and Wike, they're into an alliance. So it's going to be a battle of wits. But now, the forces against Secondus are growing. Although some people, even if they don't like Wike, they feel that removing Secondus now might be injurious to their intention. Because, I mean, imagine Wike storming the BOT meeting and causing a stalemate there. So, and you have to take, because Wike has been spending a lot of money to move the party. And they see Atiku coming in at very close to election cycles. So that's why it's going to be a very tough battle going forward.
Let me ask you
for Secondus and the PDP.
Now, another observation. 4 years ago, if you look at what happened in Ondo State, if you look at what happened towards the election, those off-season election states, now you see that this same PDP, it was McCarthy. I mean, what's the name of this Alimodi Sheriff's crisis that engulfed the party till some weeks before the election proper, before the Supreme Court now had to just get the party off the neck of Alimodi Sharif.
Yes.
Is this leadership crisis? Now, APC, they're having their own fair share of crisis, and the People's Democratic Party is back to like their default mode. Like, anytime election is close by, there will be crisis. What do you think is responsible?
Well, it's just hunger for power, nothing else. PDP has a history of chasing away party chairmen. I don't think it's not even that I don't think. There's no party in Nigerian history that has changed party chairmen like the PDP. Go back to their first ever chairman, Alex Ekweme, when he decided to contest for presidency. Alex yielded that position to Solomon La. After Solomon La, we've had the likes of different people. Different people. Amadu Ali, you know. Some will come eat pounded yam in Obasanjo's house, and after eating pounded yam, before it even digests in their belly,
you are removed.
They are removed. No party has changed their leadership like PDP. When even Muazu, the former governor of Bauchi State, when he refused to deliver the 2015 election to them, they didn't waste time. They chased him away. You know? And that was how Alimadu Sharif came in. Alimadu Sharif too. Huh?
If you remember,
they said Bamanga Tukur, they felt he was working too much for Goodluck Jonathan to ensure that Goodluck Jonathan returned. And what did they do? Remember, even on the day of their convention for the last election, they still removed the chairman. The chairman was not expecting at Eagle Square. That was where they removed him. You remember?
They removed him before they started the.
Yes, and put Halilu, the former customs man. So this is PDP, but I think that some individuals, like the governor of Rivers State, are becoming too overbearing in their attitude, and there are people now who feel that, look, for Wike to not think that he owns the party, then they have to support this person. If Atiku is already supporting him, you brought this person. Remember when Wike, when his candidate did not become the chairman of the PDP caucus in the House of Reps, look at all the trouble that it caused. He said they should suspend all of the PDP members in the House of Reps. And those guys said, no, we have the right to choose our leaders. Yes. They stood up to him because he wanted Chinda. But the people already voted for Elumelu. So this is the thing. Now, remember all of what he did ahead of the Edo election, when he was calling his party members tax collectors. Yes. Just insulting people. Every time he doesn't have his way, something happens. He thinks other people don't matter. Yes, you fund the party. But you must also treat party members with respect. So people now, some people have sympathy for, agree that this man has not been able to manage the crisis, especially at state chapters. And if we go by what happened in Cross River, you could say, okay, that he has been imposing people. You impose a chairman in Osun State, you impose a chairman. Those ones too, because that's what the Adele case wanted. Those ones, the people on the other side will not be happy with Secondus. So he has enemies. He must know now that it is only by compromise that he can survive this. Maybe they will give him a soft landing or some sort of compromise. But with Wike and others baying for blood, he knows that there is a tough battle ahead of him. And with every passing day, these people, their number will increase. The number of the people, because as I said...
House of Rep caucus now.
Yes.
Of PDP.
The SAC, Wike does not own...
the NWC members.
The truth is, Wike may appear like the poster boy for the SAC Secondus group, but Wike does not own the copyright for SAC Secondus.
Okay.
Other people have been there even before him.
All right, I have Alphonsus calling us from Lagos. Thank you for staying with us, Alphonsus.
Good afternoon, the senior super journalist.
I greet you.
Jide, I greet you.
Thank you, my brother.
Jamil, I greet you too.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I think Wike and the CDC, they are confused people. Yeah, and now Wike is trying to rule Nigeria. What they have said that they want the Southerners, the presidency to come to South. So now, who is going to be the president and the vice? Is it Wike or Samuel? Are they not confused? Are they? I'm asking you a clear demonstration. What do you say to that?
Thank you. Thank you, Alphonsus, for your contribution. We'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. Please stay with us. Don't go away. It's still Journalist Hangouts. We have to wrap up on this, Babajide. So yes. On the final analysis, this is an ongoing thing, yes. And I'm sure, till they have their way.
They won't leave. Wike by nature.
That there's no sleep for Secondus.
There is extremely stubborn blood flowing in Wike's veins, and he will not give up until he sees the back of Secondus, because he's been antagonistic of Secondus for almost 3 years now. He knows that Secondus is not likely to support him. Can he wait for 4 more years? You know that it will be difficult. So he wants to get him out of it.
We're not even talking that Secondus should even perish the idea of recontesting to be the chairman.
The next NEC meeting of the party, he does not want him to preside.
Not to talk of.
So that is the plan. Because when he presides, he will take big decisions, including the appointment of electoral body members. And those ones will do his bidding. Yeah. So he does not want that to happen. You know that Secondus is an Ijoman. Wike and co applied pressure to the point that the former governor of Bayelsa, who had a different candidate, he was told that, look, this is your Ijo brother now. That's Dixon. This is your Ijo brother. He had to support Secondus in the end. So now your candidate has emerged, and you've been fighting from day one. Because the presidential primaries didn't go your way.
Interests. The same thing.
No, it's going to be.
Some people, they flew the kite earlier that Secondus might want to recontest in that office and everything. But Secondus himself, in that emergency meeting with the BOT, came out to say like he has not told anybody he's interested in the second time.
When politicians tell you they are not interested,
that means he's even interested.
It's more interested when they are telling you they are not interested.
Really?
Yeah, and with the way Secondus is going, he has some people that are backing him, and yes. I think they want to take the battle to Wike, but they should be ready for a big one, because Wike has absolute capacity, both in terms of financial, to cause trouble, financial and otherwise.
Absolute capacity, I like that word in Nigerian context.
That's financial capacity.
Yes. My late dad
without financial capacity, the absolute capacity is not possible.
All right. A resurgence of COVID-19 pandemic is upon us. And as part of efforts to stem the tide, the federal government has announced 16th of August as the new date for the second phase vaccination for the 4.8 million doses of Moderna vaccines donated by the United States, with 422 new cases and 5 deaths. We have our jobs cut out for us, gentlemen. A lot of people, they've been disturbing me. You know, Nigerians, if we've not gotten to this stage, yes, Nigerians will not, they will not, a lot of people have been disturbing me. Ayo, where can we take our next vaccine? When? Where can we go? They're now eager to take it. Because the first phase, people were virtually begging, go to general hospital, go there, go and take your first and second jab. It became problematic. Now, good news for those of you that you've been agitating, from the 16th of August, you just go to next general hospital. I think Lagos State, they said they gave us 600 and something thousand doses of this.
Because more people want to take it.
More people want to take it now. The case is highest in Lagos anyway.
Yes, for this 4.8 million doses, 600,000. Babajide?
Yeah, as we've said, the vaccines do not give you immunity against infection. But the vaccines give you a strong chance of survival.
Yes.
There are people
might not break down
who have taken the 2 doses and they still got infected by COVID. We've been told by the WHO that, look, just continue your biosafety measures because it is not a guarantee that you will not be infected. But your chances of survival will be greater.
Fatality.
Now, with our own with the vaccines that they've given us, yes, at least you know that when you are attacked, it may not get to the point that it can take your life. And you can see what's happening in the US. We have to continue to learn. The people who are being afflicted by this virus in the US were the people who refused to take vaccination.
Yes, that's why they call it the virus of the unvaccinated.
Yes, that's what Joe Biden said. This is the pandemic of the unvaccinated. So what they are going through now is largely affecting those who refused to be vaccinated.
They were begging them.
Look at CNN now has even come out with
I think they sacked 3
directive.
staff. Yes.
No vaccine, no work. You must get vaccinated or forget about coming to work.
3 staffers.
So this is the thing. Let people take advantage of this vaccination that is going to start on the 16th. We must take advantage of it for our own good.
Yes.
For our own good.
Yes.
But even after that, when we are going to public places, use your mask. Protect yourself. Wash your hands as frequently as possible. So that way, you know that you are not going to be among these people who are dying.
Mujit, my general overseer on Saturday, Pastor Moses Adewumi, he told the congregation, he told them, Gospel Apostolic Church, that please, I urge you, I have taken the 2 jabs. I urge you, go outside and be vaccinated. Ensure that you are vaccinated. And for me, that was so soothing that yes,
that's what pastors will be doing.
Religious organizations, opinion leaders, people that will encourage their members, not standing up against this vaccination.
Yeah, may God bless the ministry. And,
yes. Gospel Apostolic Church, Pastor Moses Adewumi.
Yeah, may God bless his ministry and increase it in folds. Because we've seen some other big churches, and their GOs and overseers will openly speak against vaccination. So that's a good one. But that aside, I think I'm not happy that we are living on donations in Nigeria. The first one was donated by COVAX, organized by United Nations, 3.8 million doses. And after that, we just went to bed until US also came to our rescue with this 4.8 million doses. COVAX donated AstraZeneca, which is fifth in line in terms of potency. While this one now, Moderna is number 2 in terms of potency and efficacy, which is, I mean, it's about.
So that AstraZeneca is that strong.
Yeah, Moderna is number 2. I mean, after Pfizer Biotech. Pfizer Biotech is number 1 in terms of effectiveness and potency. It gives you about 91% coverage.
In many countries of Europe and America, if you took this one, AstraZeneca, they don't consider it as...
they won't, because it's not... When you have 7 and
look
it's
at the
5.
value. Its capacity.
The capacity
So
is just about. The capacity is just about 76% efficient, compared to 91.3 of Pfizer Biotech.
So I know someone who has taken the
2 jabs.
Yes, he still went to take Pfizer. He went to Dublin.
They're not encouraging that.
He went to Dublin to take another. So he has double doses.
Do that.
Now the
Because when you start looking at this analysis,
It's not his fault, because over there that's what is recognized.
Yeah.
They'll just look at you like you are not vaccinated.
that is it. That's
That's the thing.
No, some
At
countries.
the time our government were telling us, we thought this is the best.
No, that's why I said we shouldn't be living this kind of second-rated citizen life, so to say. Yes, our leaders also took it, but it's like living on borrowed.
So this
times.
Moderna vaccine now is
Moderna is
No, it's
number
a good
2 on the
one.
chart.
fantastic. Is number 2 on the chart.
So you have the opportunity now to just go for Moderna
Go and take the number 2.
about
from
90%.
the 16th of August. Very important.
Go and take
So
the number 2.
it comes well recommended, and people should rush it before it goes out of it. Because even the first dose, as AstraZeneca, only 2.4 million people were able to collect their 2.4 million people had one shot, while the remaining 1.4 million people were fully vaccinated. So in Nigeria, only 1.4 million people have taken the 2 doses, while 2.4 million people have 1 dose. So, which means
What
part
would have
of this.
stopped you?
Well,
You took your first jab. You can't return
When some pastors are preaching against
some pastors are preaching against
some
it.
imams are preaching against it, that they want to use it to wipe out the black race.
The black race, yeah.
So
some people are coming up with some funny
Conspiracy
theories that if you take it and you put electric bulb, it will light up your haba. I took the 2 jabs and I tried all these things.
You got a bulb. You wanted light to show.
No, because I need to actually check. And also, I mean, they are saying it's magnetic. The jab is so minuscule, very infinitesimal, that it can't even carry any magnetic element.
Wow.
So I wonder why people will be going out with such funny stuff.
Okay, and finally, it's desperate time in Kaduna State over rising insecurity, and the government is opting for desperate measures to break even. In this line, the state government said all public and private religious primary and secondary schools would remain closed until security situation improves across the states. Let's share the story with you.
The spate of insecurity in northwest Nigeria and the recurring attack on schools is posing threats to education and the lives of innocent students in the region. At least 7 schools in Kaduna State have been invaded by gunmen in 2021, and hundreds of students abducted for ransom. Others were gruesomely murdered. Kaduna State government has insisted there will be no form of negotiations with bandits, but it says efforts are underway to wipe them out. A joint team of security operatives are currently carrying out brutal offensive against these enemies of peace. The State Ministry of Education has taken the advice of heads of security agencies to shut down schools in the state due to these ongoing operations.
Government will not tolerate a situation where lives of our students, pupils, teachers, and other critical stakeholders in the education sector to be put in danger. The military, the police, and other security agencies are still carrying out operation against bandits across the states.
No school, either public or private, Islamia or non-Islamia, is safe. Of course, we are very much aware. We know some local governments or some areas are more vulnerable than others, but to be on the safe side, we said all schools should close down.
The authorities say defaulting schools would not be spared. Students writing their final exams have been relocated to safer environments within the capital city.
So we cannot risk the life of any person by any arrangement. For somebody to continue to open school, we have tolerated that before, we will not tolerate it in future. If any school is found violating this, certainly the school will face the wrath of the law.
The academic calendar for schools in the state will also be reviewed to ensure that all schools resume at the same time. The decision to close down schools, according to the Kaduna State government, was made in overall public interest. The authorities say measures are being put in place to ensure the students continue learning while at home. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
Jide, I think this is the best decision.
It is. Once those children are kidnapped, abducted, we have no way of recovering them. We have no way of rescuing them. Some of the ones that we announced were rescued are usually children who escaped.
Yes,
like these Bethel students. Some of them will be sent on errands. They will now use the opportunity to escape. You know, boys now, they will escape.
They just take their chances.
The son of the chairman of CAN in Kaduna was one of those who was abducted at that Bethel school. The boy ran away. So a few of them escaped. The same way with...
You know, they can, as young men, they're very adventurous.
Those little boys are ready to...
Don't damn the consequence. If you are shooting.
Even the Brennan Yauri too, some of them just decided to run away. Not that there was a military operation.
Yes, when they want to report it, you just... Those that they will report, you will read that Army, police rescues.
That is for the gullible. Because even the person who was rescued,
4 out of 100.
The person who was rescued, I can talk to the person. So I don't have to rely on you to tell me lies. How could you rescue one person and leave others? How did you do it?
Or 4 out of 100.
The question to ask, but we have a generation of journalists who don't ask questions anymore. The question to ask, how did you rescue one person out of more than 100? How did you manage to do it?
To single him out.
You see, when
and they also tell us that no ransom was paid.
You remember the case of even those forestry students? One boy was very ill, so the bandits didn't want him to die in their hands. They told him to go. We then read that he was rescued by the army. Whereas when the boy was walking out of that area, he saw some soldiers, he told them that he was released, and then they led him to somewhere where he was kept. The same boy was forced to come out to say, no, they didn't rescue me. Remember the case of Oyo State where the police in Oyo claimed that they rescued people, and the husband of the woman paid 6 million.
Yeah.
He was angry. We had to come here to say that, no, this person paid 6 million, and you are claiming that you rescued. So let us, that's why I support what has happened. This is something that we called for before. This is something that Borno State has done. You won't hear that they kidnap students in Borno State. They've moved them from dangerous areas to the state capital. So this is what we can do, because once they are kidnapped, you have no means of rescuing them.
I think this is the way to go, because when you look at Kaduna State, it's like Governor Nasir El-Rufai is now helpless.
Yeah, it's
and even in Niger State, people and Ikebi, people that they've abducted 1 month, 2 months.
They are still there. 150 of them from Niger.
Kaduna and Niger are really pathetic, and I think I even read about a commissioner that was kidnapped.
Information. They went to his house to grab him.
They went to pick him in his house. I think yesterday.
Not on the roadside.
In Niger, so it's really becoming. Serious, and I think it's the best decision taken by the Kaduna State government on the advice of the security agencies that pending when
let them learn
pending
from
when
home.
we can beef up security. Although it has implications because
great implication, but
like
it's better.
It's better for
Safety of
them
lives for
to be alive
the trauma
than
and
to claim to be want to do NECO and the WAEC by force. Because now
you have to be alive first.
you have to be alive
NECO and
first before
WAEC.
you can talk about NECO and WAEC. So they will be missing out in NECO and also
the school calendar is
WAEC.
altered.
So, but I think the school calendar can be altered. I mean, while government makes adequate plans to move those who are in the outskirts to the city centers and probably beef up security there and increase strategy and logistics.
Before we go today, we have a shout out. Honorable Olulade. Let's congratulate Elenio, a former member of the Lagos House of Assembly, Honorable Segun Olulade, who turned 50 on Sunday.
Yes, and we went there to rejoice with him. And Moriah Afolabi Brown thought that she could defeat me in a dancing competition. He challenged me, and I'm not someone who box at a challenge like that.
Hope the producer could get that clip.
Well, Moriah, try it again. You'll be defeated again.
Segun Olulade, Elenio, amazing person.
Fantastic.
The number of people that turned up for him.
Yeah, fantastic guy. Unfortunately, I missed that party, but I've sent my shout out to him. We wish him a very glorious 50th birthday, and we welcome him to the club. I mean,
yes, he has joined us.
Yeah, he has joined us in the club. So we are
welcome to the fold.
Yeah,
And ultimately, we pray that God will grant his heart's desire.
Yes, because he's a good
politically and everything.
Yeah.
He's a good man, and he shows. When you see a good man, you know. He's a good man. We respect him for that, and we wish him many more years in a happy Nigeria.
All right, let's also appreciate Mr. Babatunde Tijani of Biggie Drinks for donating some drinks to journalist Hangouts. Biggie Drinks. Thank you, Mr. Babatunde Tijani.
Yes, and we pray for their company because it's not common to see a Nigerian company stand up to big international
firms.
Yes, bottling companies, you know. But the biggie guys have remained on the scene, and they've shown that if you are determined, you go places. So we thank them for the generosity.
Some other people will just come to the studio, just give diary. Some will come, give calendars. I know a man just recently gave us calendars.
Yeah, it shows
that we don't know.
It shows that they appreciate the job we are doing.
People that we
here.
don't know.
Yeah, and it gives me a lot of courage to continue when especially even when I'm traveling outside the country. When I get to the airport, I mean, they recognize me.
Immigration, customs,
they'll give me a clearance. Say, no, you guys are doing a great job. So that alone is more satisfying for me than being paid $1 million naira.
Sometimes, even in the bank, they will say, no, come to the front. And I don't like it. I will say, no, hold on. They will say, no, come. So people show appreciation in different ways.
Thank them.
We just want to thank them.
Yes,
we will continue to do our best.
Yes.
That which we do that has made you to like us, by God's grace, we will not stop doing those things.
Not stop doing it.
Thank you for everything.
Our prayer is that we will continue to be objective as possible. We are not PDP members, we are not APC members. We don't belong to any political party. And from our analysis, these are heads.
You know, you always see how, look at those who abuse me, they call me APC man, this and that, they call me APC man. Yet, the majority of those who have blocked me on Facebook are APC.
We belong.
So, how am I APC?
We belong to everyone, and we belong to no one.
You see the irony?
I don't know. The bash you here, the bash you there.
So where do I go?
We have.
If I stay in the middle is a ditch. They call me APC man. APC people, they don't want to see me. They are abusing me. They are blocking me. So what do? It shows that I'm doing the work well. Yes. Sure. If people can say you are APC, you are PDP, okay, that means
today you are APC, tomorrow you are PDP.
When you say something that makes them happy, you are the best in the world.
Yes.
When you say something in faithfulness to your conscience and it runs against their own desires, oh, then you are a bad person. Oh, it's a good for nothing person. Oh, it's the celebrity. It's not a celebrity, it's a celebrity. Who even likes it? You know, so all those things.
It's expected.
You want from a good one?
You can please everybody.
Rice?
Rice is no problem.
People have been giving gifts. So
your mates are bringing gifts from Biggie.
That rice.
Okay, Igbimo rice, I can assure you.
The deputy speaker actually brought Igbimo rice.
Okay.
I can assure you that
to the right honorable Akim Jamiu.
Okay, don't worry.
Jamiu, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. And the master himself, BKO, Papa Jidekola Deotutoji. Thank you for always being there. And that's our offering. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. And don't forget to watch Journalist Hangout on Sunday, 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. every Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Zubaku. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.